All right. Well, we are live. Whoa, got the music playing. Oops. Oops. Uh-oh. Probably going to get demonetized now for that, you know. Going to get a copyright claim, all that good stuff. You know how it is. You know how it is. You know how it goes. Anyways, all right. We see several of you out there. So this is passive prospecting for real estate agents, where we talk all things about YouTube here. So let's see. We've got my trusty co-host and sidekick, the Wizard of Oz, Miss Krissy Owens, coming in clutch at the last second, sliding into home plate. Really loves to toy with my anxiety on that.
Sorry, I had mom duty for school today.
Oh yeah, good. That Chris was on mom duty.
He really hurt his back, and so he's been in bed for 3 days.
Oh my god, what a slacker!
I know.
What was he doing? What was he doing with his back?
Well, actually, he fell asleep on his knees reading the kids a story the other night, and so he threw out his back. So we took him to the chiropractor this morning, and he has to go back. So
wait, so like over the bed reading a story, and then just like
he just fell asleep mid reading the story. He was on his knees for like an hour.
Must have been really boring story. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, what can you do?
It's that's supposed to work on the kids, not the parents, right?
I'm sure that they probably outlasted him on that.
Yep. All right, cool. All right. Well, we see several of you out there, so feel free to hit us up in the chat with any questions that you may have in regards to video, YouTube, and anything around video and YouTube. Basically, that's really all we're good at here. I can't really tell much about TikTok or Instagram. It's funny, we were having this discussion the other day, right, about Instagram, and Instagram has all these different accounts: creator, business owner, business, you know, and one account has access to this, the other account doesn't have access to that. It's like, really, what's the point, right? And then whenever it came down to it, it's like, if you want anything to go viral on Instagram, you got to have the trending music. Otherwise, it doesn't seem to work out. But then you can't get that on the business account. And then we have the business account, and you can't be a real estate agent. You have to be an entrepreneur. Just way too many technicalities. And what my question was what really matters anyways? How do we trigger the algorithm? And then we, it's funny, we posted a reel that I thought the audio was way too loud on it. You know which one I'm talking about? Yeah. I mean, the audio is way too loud, and you can't even really hear me talking. But that's the one that went, 12,000 views, all of a sudden. And it was funny because, I mean, we've had several of the reels on my Instagram page break five digits, but it's just very random. Everything hovers in like the 3,000 to 6,000 range. Which to me is like, okay, that's consistent. And then we have ones that take off. We had one the other day go to 17,000. But this one, 12,000 views. And that was in 2 hours. 2 hours. And whenever I clicked on it, because of course we have an amazing team that handles that stuff. So I see it after the fact. And then I was like, oh, well, this one's doing really, really well. Let me click on it. And Kanye is just blaring I mean, singing his song. And I'm like back there going, and I was like, oh, well, there's the trick, right? Maybe if you just don't hear me talk, then maybe that's the key to going viral, right? We just play some good rap songs and we'll be good to go. So
very random on Instagram. Yeah,
very random, but interesting. So that's funny. But anyways, is there let's see, we got questions coming in already. Is there a recording of the event you did on Monday? There is not. So that's only that's private. Monday is a private call, and that's really mainly for our organization within our brokerage. Now we have a lot of people in the Facebook group in our team. That's why we posted in there. And I don't know, we may have a few people that jump in there. I guess when we post it in the group, it's kind of opening it up for the group, so if anybody wants to jump in there, really, we just talk about systems and scaling and business. And my goal is to talk about everything other than video. And so that's more like a private calls. So it's just a mastermind, and that's where we get to hear from our partnerships around the country and things like that. If somebody jumped in there that's not in our organization, we probably would not kick them out. So, but we're not posting that anywhere. So that's really private and unique. We do several public calls. As you can see, we do this is public. We do Clubhouse on Tuesdays. We have our podcast. Of course, that's recorded. What we're going to start doing is, like yesterday, is recording those podcast calls and start uploading those on the YouTube channel. So if you missed that, you'll have that. So we do repurpose a lot of content, but we do want to offer a little bit extra to the people that directly partner with us, and, provide some behind the scenes. We talk a lot about, we kind of open up the curtains on what we're working on. It's full disclosure, right? We don't really, there's a lot of stuff that we don't talk about and that's like outside of the YouTube world. I'm pretty much an open book on YouTube. We give away all of our secrets there, of course, but everything else, there's a lot going on behind the scenes, and it's a lot. I got done at 9:30 last night, and that's not on purpose. I mean, I'm not the Gary V type of person that believes in working 16-hour days. It just happens sometimes. Today I'm going to try to balance it out, and I think my last call today is around 5 p.m. So I was thinking about today, maybe I could just take a little 5 to 9 off today. That was kind of my thought process, because if you have a day like yesterday run over, it's a lot. I mean, because I'm a morning person, I get up very early in the morning. I don't say that you have to do that to be successful. If you're a night owl, then be a night owl. If working from midnight till 2 a.m. is your golden hours, where me, it's, in the morning from 5 to 7, those are my golden hours where I know I'm not going to get bothered. The phone's likely not going to ring, except Travis always calls me or texts me. I usually wake up to a text message or something from Travis. We're pretty much on the same schedule. And so we're both up very early. And I know in the morning time, my morning time is kind of like my me time, where there's not a lot coming in. So I really get to pick and choose. Now, some of that's, exercise, because I do believe in health and lifestyle and exercise. That is very important to me. So I don't really consider that like working aspect. But whenever I come back home from the gym, I like to grab a cup of coffee. I kind of cool down for a minute. I try to read something if I can. That I may look at, I look at analytics on the channel. To me, that's just kind of like, piddle around a little bit, just kind of piddle around, check some stuff, check the analytics on the channel, try to look at a article or something, quick read. And then I may check a few emails. Most of my email time is kind of in the afternoon or evening, or even during lunch. Like if I stop, I am a lunch person. Like that is something that I work on every single day. For those that know my background with my health journey, I take nutrition very seriously. So, I don't believe in working myself to the bone, not eating, not having energy. I mean, I like my iced Americano. Also good for digestion, so that's good after lunch, a little pick me up. And so, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, but otherwise what we were working on yesterday, everything just kind of, it was just a series of events, and you get backed up. We do these trainings, we got calls and all kinds of stuff. So it's a lot. And so anyways, I guess that was a very long answer to the fact that, the Monday calls are private. If anybody jumps in there, we're not going to kick them out, but we're not posting those anywhere. But okay. Well, I believe Cheyenne. Yeah. Okay. Well then, hey, hit me up. Let me see. I can shoot you. We can do a private call as well. So, or, you're welcome to jump in there next Monday. If you can't make that time, then we can always have a conversation as well. I can send you a private link, Cheyenne. So I believe that's Cheyenne, right? Okay. So yeah, happy to chat. And anybody that wants to dig in a little bit more about partnering with us at EXP, I don't talk about that a lot really, because it's not, we want to help people grow their production through video on YouTube. That's our primary goal, period. And now to us, EXP's icing on the cake, right? I mean, clearly we feel like it's a really great brokerage, which is why we're here, but we don't depend on the brokerage. We're building a business separate of that transcends brokerages. We could transfer brokerages 10 times a year and none of our clients would know the difference because they want to work with us. So that's just something, again, I'm going off a little bit there off the side rails, but I'm waiting for some YouTube questions pop up there. Let's see. Oh, we got Robert in the green room. Robert, I'm sure you got some questions, and let me see. Turn your camera on. Let me know if you're there, if you can hear us. And let's see. Natalia, I want to start by congratulating you. I found you on YouTube when we were just starting out, 4 weeks into it, I think, and you grabbed my attention then. Thanks for your generosity. Well, thank you. Thank you, Natalia. We'll send you your check in the mail very shortly for that nice comment. No, we appreciate you. So good. I'm glad you're finding some value. That's what we're here for, is to always try to provide as much value as possible. So we appreciate you. So let's see here. Robert, I don't see your camera. It says device not connected. So you might have to try something else there. Krissy, what do we got for topic of the day?
Yeah, well, we had some good questions yesterday in the course call that I thought would be good to kind of bring into this as well, because we only had a couple people on the course call yesterday. But I think it was Cheyenne was asking, she's in a really small market. And so a lot of the keyword scores that she was getting for some of her, what she would consider major areas for a really, small area, what would you focus on, the keyword score, or would you focus more on the traffic?
In a small area? Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, great question. So I think in a small area, I think it really probably matters more. Is there anybody else doing videos in that area? Because we know this after working with clients in small markets. If nobody is in that market, it may not even matter. It's just make the content, and you may just want to look at positioning the words differently. Maybe there's a title that's going to give you a little bit more of a bump, but if it's a smaller market, it's a smaller market. So the volume is probably going to vary, not too much. And I don't really put a lot of weight into the scores. I mean, I do. If there's search volume, I would always go off of search volume first, I believe, is what I tend to look at. It's a little combination, but the score, if there's optimization is 100 or high or something like that, then to me, even if the competition is in the red or the competition is heavy, if optimization is strong, that tells me that you got the opportunity to optimize better than those other videos and probably outrank them. So there may be other videos in the market, but if the optimization strength is strong, then you've got the opportunity to outrank them. But in a small market, typically you're not seeing a lot. I mean, think about it. When we started in Dallas, there was really about 4 to 5 agents, maybe really 4 good ones that were consistent, and still, just doing 1 video a week. So that was, to me, that wasn't competition. That wasn't saturation. But you think about Dallas, a huge market. And I think now that we've opened our mouths a little bit, we've definitely seen some other channels pop up, but that's it. So I would look at more, so who's on YouTube in your area. If there's nobody there, then I would just start focusing on creating the content. But yeah, if you find that the search volume is a little bit higher, I mean, that's why we go through the exercise of ranking suburbs, so you can start with the suburbs that are more searched. And if you get a big difference, I mean, I don't know, on the score 80 to 90 to 100. Yeah, I mean, if you find a better wording of the title, it gives you a higher score, but let's say it's lower search volume. I mean, it's interesting. I don't know if it's usually we correlate, but I think I'm usually just going off straight search volume than the actual score, if it's giving me this search volume. Now, if it comes back insufficient data, which sometimes it does that a lot with TubeBuddy, then I would definitely revert to the score and just, but I take it all with a grain of salt as well. It's like, it's very good baselines, but I think it's also go with your gut a little bit. But yeah, if you change pros and cons of Dallas, Texas versus Dallas, Texas pros and cons, I would go with the higher score, because clearly if it's in there, also try typing it in the YouTube search bar. You could see that as well. But otherwise, yeah, even positioning different like that, it should give you a better score. And so I would go with the score second. I would go with the search volume first if you've got that. And then if you don't, then of course you're going to go off the score. But otherwise, just test it around and make it a interesting headline as well. And so, there's different ways you can word things on top of that. We, like on our thumbnail, it was really kind of I can't stand Dallas was the thumbnail, which is still like our top performing video. But I think the actual title is like things we don't like, or 11 things we don't like about Dallas. So it's just a matter of, change it up, play with it a little bit, but then remember your thumbnail can be completely different, and you want it to be definitely eye-catching. If we're making it, then we should make it eye-catching. So hopefully, is that clear as mud there?
Yeah, and one of the things we talked about yesterday too is you kind of have to establish a baseline of what your normal scores look like. So if you have like 5 or 6 areas and they're all kind of ranking in that 65, 75 point range, I mean, you have to also say that's kind of what the normal is for my area. Higher search volume areas, higher relocation markets are going to have higher scores typically. And so if you're operating in a small market, just kind of take the average of what your score is and just kind of shoot for that when you're looking at it. But again, we also talked about how volume is going to be kind of king in that situation, and really in most situations it is. So
okay, good. So we kind of said the same thing.
We did. We said the exact same thing. Took the words right out of my mouth.
All right, ding, ding, ding. All right, there you go. That's when we're on a roll. Whenever
same wavelength,
same thing.
There you go.
So it's good. So let's see. Natalia says, I remember you saying that you studied YouTube for 2 months before launching into it. Any particular videos for instruction? Well, yeah, I would say.
Yeah, it's like hundreds of them.
Yeah, I would say, well, yeah, the course is the most concise, is the most consolidated form of the videos. But the truth is, yes, everything is out there for free. First of all, let me see if I can get it in this screen, maybe not. No, but on the behind me on the shelf, we have the YouTube Secrets. I think YouTube Secrets as a book is a good starting point. By the way, we're in there. So where's Waldo? Let me know if you find us in the book, if you read the new edition of YouTube Secrets, which is pretty cool. So YouTube Secrets, I think, really helps you understand the foundations and principles of the platform. And which reminds me, by the way, I will announce right now. Oh, yes. Monday. Did I invite you to that, Krissy? I need to invite you.
I have so many events that we share every week. I'm not sure which one it is.
I'm going to invite you because I want to do this as a live stream. So we want to make a thumbnail as well.
Cool.
We're going to do it as a live stream on here. And on Monday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, live on this channel, we will have Sean Cannell.
Oh, nice.
So Sean Cannell is the founder of Think Media and the co-author of YouTube Secrets, also runs the conference Grow with Video, and all around hip hop star as well. I think he definitely does some hip hop. He can dance to, anyway, super cool dude. We're going to have him on live on the channel on Monday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. But Sean Cannell, Benji Travis co-wrote YouTube Secrets. They're really set the foundations and principles of the platform. So that's where I would start. I'd also get the book YouTube Formula. I always like books. It's a good baseline to start with there, because that is consolidated information. It is, even if you were, so Sean Cannell runs Think Media, who teaches YouTube. So Think Media is a really good channel for that. Daryl Eves, if you look up Daryl Eves on YouTube, he teaches YouTube, and you'll find his videos too. But even if you go to Daryl Eves' YouTube channel or you go to Think Media, you're going to have to, piece around, because on Think Media, they also do camera equipment reviews and all kinds of other stuff. So you're going to have to find the things specific on YouTube. As to where you go to the book, it's pretty much, okay, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. it's a step-by-step progression of helping you understand the baseline and the fundamentals and the principles. Daryl Eves' book, YouTube Formula, that didn't come out right when we started. It came out, I think, January, so a month or two or three after we started. And it was a really good resource. What he talks about a lot in there is, really it's pretty deep, but it's also, you have to think about it too. He's working with creators that have, everyone's their audience almost. The world is their audience. The world is their oyster. So they talk about switching out thumbnails within an hour if they don't get 1 million views in the first hour. I mean, it's very, very dialed in on that. So for us, I think there's still very good fundamentals and principles in there, but it is more of a book for about, going viral and I think we're looking for very specific clients. We're looking for people that are wanting to buy and sell real estate. Even if you look at that market as a whole, it's not really a viral market of people moving to your area. So if you're making content specifically about your area, then it's not likely going to happen. But, we've seen virality, or what I like to call mini viral, with some of our videos, mainly our property tours or some of the neighborhood tours that some people definitely find appealing. But that's something we talk about with property tours, how to make property tours evergreen, last forever, make them interesting. They will appeal to a much broader audience. But the thing is that even that, one of our property videos, 55,000 views inside of 2 months, did bring us 2 very strong buyers. But where's the other 54,998 people, right? So yes, it can reach a broad audience. Doesn't necessarily mean those people are right in the market or ever even considering moving to Dallas. So again, if we get 1 million views on a video, yeah, looks cool, but is that making the phone ring? And again, what we've always said is our whole goal of the channel was, can we make the phone ring, period. That's the biggest thing, because we've monetized the channel in ways that takes some YouTubers years or decades to even get close to, to monetization. And so, going to some of these conferences, Vid Summit and other videos or video conferences, and you'll hear the creators, and there's creators up there that, on their channel, you assume things, but, and they'll break down numbers and things. And some of them are, they're making 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 a year, which is great. Nothing small to shake a stick at, but you would think that it would be a lot more whenever they have millions of views. The thing is that, YouTube doesn't pay a lot on that side of it. So they have to monetize through other ways, which is through affiliate services or designing their own little product or service, but that's usually a $5, $10, $15, $20 product. So it's a ton of volume, and still, look, making 200 or 300,000 from your YouTube channel, nothing to shake a stick at, right? That's a pretty good living to hang out at your house and make some videos, But for us, we're fortunate to be in a very high ticket item like real estate, to where we can turn that into so much more. And we've done that, we've monetized that quite significantly. And so that is, I remember I came off of, I was at Tahoe, in Lake Tahoe, before Build, had a speaking opportunity there. And that was one of the things, somebody came up to me, and that was their one thing. That out of everything I said, they wanted to know, but how much does YouTube pay you for all your views? And I was like, well, first of all, we don't have a lot of views, but for those that are curious, we average between 400 to 600 a month, sometimes 7. It goes to 700 and 800 a month. In ad revenue, not bad. Pays a couple of bills here and there, not all of them, but it's, hey, I'll take it. I don't believe any of the other platforms are sharing their ad revenue with their creators. So I heard TikTok might be doing something like that, though. Have you heard anything on that, Krissy?
Yeah, there's talks. All of the different platforms are kind of opening their own things. Like, Instagram just opened up subscriptions that you can do too. So that's another way you can monetize the content. So, everybody's kind of finding their own monetization. But yeah, everybody's working on that.
Yeah. So I would get with those 2 books, but also those 2 channels, going back to Natalia, YouTube Secrets, YouTube Formula. Daryl Eves wrote YouTube Formula. He's got a Daryl Eves. And then you've got Think Media by Sean Cannell. They teach a lot of YouTube stuff. So yeah, Nick Nimmin, D Nimmin, Roberto Blake, even Annie Dubly or something. I don't know. She's like an 18-year-old girl. I don't know. She knows a lot of stuff about YouTube though. So I'll watch her channel sometimes. And I think it's interesting, right? So even I'm like, oh, let me tap into the kids, see what they know about YouTube. And they got some interesting perspectives. So the thing is that the information is out there for free. You just got to go out there and piece it all together. And so now for me, what I also talk about is hyper learning any subject. And so whenever I talk about those 2 months, it was hyper learning. It was watching Think Media, Nick Nimmin, D Nimmin, Roberto Blake, Annie Dewey, Professor Nez, just whoever I could find and learn from. It was a lot. And that's what I did instead of watching Tiger King. I watched YouTube videos on how to do better at YouTube. So that's just what I did. So it's a lot. And that's why, in our course, we consolidate that to about 8 hours, which, a lot of people think the information in a course is the most valuable part, which it is. It's very valuable. It'll definitely make you $1 million if you work at it. But the time saving that you go through could be worth even more, And so if you think about that, let's do this. We were doing the math. Was that yesterday? We were talking about $500 an hour is $1 millionaire. Yeah. So you times that by 40 hours a week, and then you times that by 4 weeks. So that's 80,000 a month, right? So you times that by 2 months, and you're looking at $160,000. So if you look at buying a course, for a couple of $1,000s, but it saves you 2 months of your time. And if you're not a millionaire, then you want to be thinking in the mindset of a millionaire, which is anything that's less than $500 an hour or makes you $500 an hour, probably shouldn't be doing it. Like mowing your lawn. Okay. Maybe mowing your lawn is your thing and you listen to an audio book and it's your learning time and it's your Zen time. Okay, I could get that. But at the same time, when you're in a building phase and a building mode, is that the best use of your time? Okay, I understand that it may take you half an hour, or I don't know, maybe it takes you an hour and then you got to bag grass and do all this or throw it away, clean it up. And maybe that is a 2 or 3 hour process. That's where you got to think about those types of things. Okay, maybe mowing your lawn is your Zen time, but is that the right time to have your Zen time? There is a big difference too between, having Zen time and just grinding, just getting through it. And so, that's what we talk about too, is that we still feel like we're in building mode. It's not where we desire to be for the rest of our lives. I know that. And I definitely don't want to be the real estate agent that's still trying to figure out how to generate business at 75 years old, because we've had them, we've had them come to us. We've heard the stories. And we've had them on our calls. I've had 65, 70-year-old real estate agents. And, one little thing happens, not their fault, but life, health, family, anything like that comes into play and knocks you out of the game for 6 months or a year or something like that. You could burn through quite a bit, and then what are you doing? You're starting over. It's the whole concept we talk about with passive prospecting, which, by the way, I got to go above my laptop right there. Go to passiveprospecting.com. Make sure you sign up for access to the book so that you're first to learn whenever we release the book. But that's the whole concept of passive prospecting, is you want a machine of some sort working for you in the background at all times, so that if outside life forces happen, and they will happen, it doesn't completely destroy your business. And first of all, you have to have some sort of system, process, or people in place to have a business in the first place. If you don't, you're really just self-employed and you have a job. It's just for yourself instead of somebody else. So those are the things you have to think about is scaling yourself, getting systems, people, processes in place, and doing that. And so that's what you have to think about. So yes, I understand maybe mowing your lawn, cool thing to do, your Zen time, but is it the best use of 2 or 3 hours right now if you're in the building phase? Think about I mean, you could probably sit down and knock out several videos in a 3-hour period. I mean, I know you can. I've done it before, so I know you can too. And so paying somebody $35 or $45 to mow the lawn for you, and it frees you up, 3 hours of your time. Now, that may seem insignificant, but then think about something you're doing every single day. And then that compounds and adds up over the week. And if you feel like you're running out of time, then is there something that that you can do? Actually, Travis and I just brought on I don't want to say a personal assistant, but yeah, I mean, I would just say an assistant. Not really, they're not following us around, but they share time between the two of us. But going to Travis's house for 2 to 3 days, coming to my house, I'm a lot less messy than Travis. So they only need to come to my house for a day or so. Then they come into the office for a day and check things. So just having someone like that to, go to his house or in my house, knock out laundry, clean up, go, need something, drop off dry cleaning, go get the car washed, literally all that stuff. You'd be surprised. I mean, I tell you what, I couldn't tell you how freeing that has been just for me, just to have somebody help me out one day a week, to come over and like knock all that stuff out. Because for them, when they're concentrated on knocking out laundry, and this is in addition to, I do have a housekeeper, of course, because that I love a clean house. So the housekeeper comes over, but this is like a day once a week for, again, drop off dry cleaning, go get the car wash, fill it up with gas, do this, do that, do laundry. All those little things add up, and they add up to a full day of work for this person. And I was the person that was doing it here and there. And then guess what I was doing if I was trying to do laundry? I was trying to check emails in between, on phone calls, doing this. Oh, I've got to go do this now. But it also get delayed and pushed back. And then, I mean, literally the other day, I went down to like 5 miles in my tank of gas just because it just seemed like I run out of time every day to even stop and get gas. So, whenever they come over and they're like, oh, go get gas, go wash the car, go do this and that just freeing up that time to where now it's almost like an offload to where I don't even have to worry about that stuff. And go over to Travis's house and help him do that and just clean up. And it's really not that much, but you think about the time constraints, or the time freedom that gives you, and what most people look at is what does that cost you? So this is all the things you want to think about whenever it comes to video. And that's the power of videos. Whenever you make the videos, that they start working for you. And so that frees you up, because I don't have to focus on lead generation 2 hours every single day. I have that time, back to me. So that's what, that's just helps me out. So those are the things you want to kind of think about. And again, if you're bootstrapping, I get it, so get the books, go watch the videos, but you're going to have to invest quite a bit of time to, start running through that. Of course, you can come to our YouTube channel. We've got a lot of trainings and lives and things like that on here as well. So you're always welcome to reach out and come to us, for help and things like that. So there, you can definitely do it. And then of course you could always just look at our channel. I mean, if you look at our channel and study the channel, I mean, it's out there, it's public. You could pretty much get a good idea of what we're doing. Will you have 100% behind the scenes understanding? Not necessarily, but that's what the course is for. And the course is, will help you do that. It gives you very concise instructions, step by step, takes you through a progression. I think makes it all very manageable. And to me, that's worth it. And so something I talk about, or I don't talk about, is over the summer of 2020, before moving into real estate, is I spent more money than I ever spent on figuring out what was my next move. So, with what happened with my business partner, and of course, COVID shut everything down in April of 2020. Well, there I was, 30 million layoffs. The world shuts down, and I'm like, all right, well, what's my next move? I'm definitely not going to get a job. First of all, I will never go back to a job. But second of all, who was hiring anyways? So that that wasn't going to work out regardless. So then I thought, okay, well, I've got to build another business, but what am I going to build right now and online or doing something like that? So I spent more money than I've ever spent. I put all the chips. I went all in. I bought courses, mentorships, mastermind groups. I spent $17,000 just on one mastermind group, and bought probably $50,000 worth of courses, and I invested $150,000 in 2 Amazon stores. And what's funny is that none of that has made me any money, and it was a free strategy on YouTube that has returned the most. So it was crazy. But the thing is that I went through all of that, but everything led me down a rabbit hole that I learned, and the mentorships and the mastermind and the courses and all that I bought into didn't necessarily return me a monetary return, but it gave me so much knowledge and insight and understanding about, more in depth. I thought I knew what I knew on the surface of a lot of things, but it really got me in depth into online marketing and how to attract clients, and those are the rabbit holes I went down. And so eventually, whenever I stumbled upon YouTube, then it was kind of like, well, here's something, this is it. I didn't have any more money to spend at that point. I spent it all. So I thought, well, let me try the free thing. Let me try the free thing and see if I can get that to work. And that worked out. So good. All right, Cheyenne, let's see. Thanks to you too. Really appreciate you both. Awesome. Shastine, I see you down there. Do you got your camera? Did I say that again right? Shastine? Okay.
I think so.
I want to say, Shastine, if you want to come up, do you got your camera ready to go if you can hear us? Oh, there she is. All right. Let's see what we can do here. And what's up? What's going on?
I'm not a stalker. I'm just a student. So it seems like
you sound like Levi.
Hey, I'm a stalking student as well, I think, but
that's how you learn.
So
you're a hyper learner. Yeah. That's what you are.
This is
trying to get up going as quickly as possible.
Yeah. First of all, never apologize. You don't have to worry about that. This is what I want. I do want people to reach out. The thing is that anytime we work with somebody, and especially if we partner with somebody, that they always like, well, what do you want? I'm like, I'm looking for work ethic, and someone who's willing to put in the work, and somebody who, shows up, because I'm not going to call anybody to get out of bed on Monday morning. But if you get up out of bed and you show up and you come to the trainings, we're here. I know nobody can ever say we're hiding. So because we're here, but if you show up, I'm going to help you any way I can. So what's on the mind today? What you got for us?
So I did change up my YouTube banner inside of my YouTube channel. And then I did do a few actual posts. I have a scheduled my content that went out. So I didn't know if you could look at it and just kind of let me know what you're thinking. I have a third one going today. My thought is I was doing everything in one area, both the houses that I'm touring, the good and the bad, and the vlog. And so, with being last week was the first full week. So that's the Vancouver, Washington Living channel. Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know if you can get it up and take a look at it.
That's what it's called, Vancouver, Washington Living.
Yep. And I did make sure that I got bought my domain on GoDaddy for my email to match it like you suggest, as well as, for an actual website. So email and the website I was able to get for Vancouver, Washington Living as well. So not that I've done a lick of anything with it. So, but at least I made sure to secure it. So.
All right. Gotcha. All right, let's see. Let's do a little screen share action. Oop, wrong one. Oop, oh, that one. There we go. That was fun. Yay. Share
Well, so
screen.
far, I know that agents are like the ones that see it because I've been getting the most. I mean, my competitors, we were at a training, and one of my competitors in my area had come up, and she knew exactly who I was. And of course, I knew exactly who she was. Of course, we didn't get to have the opportunity to have a conversation, but I found that to be very humorous. And then other agents are just like, I see you, you're everywhere. And I'm like, that's great. So I at least I'm beginning to get some traction here locally, getting a few little weird spam calls like, can you contact me through WhatsApp? And I'm like, maybe there should be a little safety button on your training on things to watch out for, because obviously as you're out there, just some things you're going to encounter. But yeah.
Well, if anything looks suspicious, it could be, it probably is, but they should, I mean, they should call or come in through your phone numbers, right? And so, of course, we've had people, if they're out of the country, the legitimate ones, they'll email us, because clearly we have a US-based number through a CRM that they can't really message through internationally texting or anything like that. And so that they'll email us and they'll say, hey, I'm international. And we usually, take them offline or take them through WhatsApp at that point, but we've pretty much verified them through email. So I believe anybody that's on a WhatsApp number or coming in, they're going to reach out via email if they're legitimate. So that would be something to keep in mind. And let me see. Let me add this up here. I mean, initially what I thought about was, yes, I mean, immediately I can see a lot more contrast. So we can see your channel, right? Correct? Can y'all see the channel?
Yep.
Krissy? Okay. Yeah, definitely a lot more contrast. I see the outline on there as well. So you can make all of this out to easier to see. So I think that's definitely a lot better there. And this I would just keep in mind too. So I'm on my laptop right now. Something to keep in mind too is that still text, again, I would just be cautious of especially white on yellow. This is something that, let me see, the color wheel. You can see the color wheel, right? Krissy?
Yeah, sorry, I was on mute. Okay. Yeah.
So, the ideal way is you see how crisscross everything. If you haven't noticed this before, you'll notice this now. Like NFL teams, basketball teams, any type of marketing, you'll usually notice if there's two colors in their branding, it's opposite. So, you'll see a lot of purple and gold. You'll see a lot of blue and orange. You'll see, some blue and red, some, red and green. But you can see how contrasting colors is really what gives you the contrast that you need. So, of course, a yellow, white is very hard to contrast unless you have a background on it that's very, very dark. So if you look at here, I would just be mindful of, white, especially with yellow together. It's a little bit harder to see. And this, the 650 on here, that as well is a little bit small. But you have white on a darker background. It looks kind of like an orange or something. And I might look at just doing a better picture. You could even reposition if you're showing that actual house. I mean, we can see mostly garage versus house. Mm-hmm. So I would just be mindful of position of the house. And then maybe, if you were to move yourself to the left side, you could cover up that garage and then we would see more of the house on the right side. And so we got, and then here again, kind of, I think there's like orange and red, looks like orange behind the salmon. So if you want that salmon creek to pop a little bit more.
I'm like all over the place on the colors. And I'm like, do you stick with one color? I've seen different people just stick with the same type of font color and streamline it all the way across, while others mix it up. you know, so I'm just like, and I'm like, am I overthinking this? You know?
Well, let's look at, okay, so let's look on your videos tab. So let's look at here and just take a mental snapshot. Okay. And then let's look here and take a look. Okay. So when you compare, now clearly we have a theme going, right? Are you there? I can't see you because I'm on my screen. So
Yes.
whenever, okay.
Yeah,
So you
sorry
can
about
kind of
that.
see. So this is where I want you to answer the question. Not, it doesn't have to be out loud. This is just what I'm asking you to think about is, do you want to be, there's something to being all over the place. You can be, nothing wrong with that. Definitely a lot of variety, but also if you kind of stick to the same theme, you'll notice how, yes, we're using white letters, but we have a contrasting color, a blue background in the letters. So that keeps it very similar on brand. You can tell, right? I mean, you kind of see the same fonts, maybe different positions, different words, but you see a theme. Now, second of all, you'll notice most of our pictures are very visible, and you can see how we saturate a little bit. We dark, basically bring out the colors a lot more versus, like this one looks like there's a sunset in the background of there. And if this one was saturated a little bit more, it would probably make that house and that skyline pop just a little bit more. So that's something that I would be mindful of. And, ultimately you answer the question about how do you want the design to look? But I would just also, you want to keep in mind size, because you want to think about this even on a mobile phone. So I'm on a laptop and I can see here, luxury parade. Okay. It's just still a little small. I can kind of make it out. That's a great picture of a house. And I can't get anywhere close to it. So that's a great picture. Let me use my drawing tool. Maybe that will work better instead of my mouse. Okay. Yeah. So, that's a great picture of a house right there. I would just say luxury parade. That's just very small. Home tours is very small. So if I think about it on a mobile device, this one too, I would probably not have indoor pictures on the side there. So that way you could feature more of the house. And this picture looks a little saturated because look how poppy the grass looks and the tree. And the price tag is large enough to see, but if this wasn't here on this side, you could bring it a little bit more across the top to take more of it. But over here, I mean, you could even position yourself. So I don't know if this was a stock photo or something that was pulled, but if it is, then you could have easily put yourself over that portion of it, and then you stay consistent on your branding. And so something else here, like home seller, like this is in yellow, but it's kind of on a beige house in the background. So it kind of just, you want to think now this one just, okay, I scroll down. Now this one pops. You see this one? This one pops. Yeah. I mean, you're a little bit bigger than right here. So, and you can see facial expression, which is good, but everything is very, very clear to read. Now it does take up, so we can't see anything in the background, but this is a burning question that people are asking. So I think this one is catchy. So out of what I'm seeing, I think this is a very good example of where you want to be. Contrast.
Right. And that was so before you.
Okay. All right.
So and I have two different editors. So I have one editor that does my Facebook and Instagram, and then I have an editor that now does my YouTube. And I haven't been doing my own thumbnails. They have, so obviously they aren't in Thumb World training at all. And so, that's why you see things all over the place. So I'm trying to go back to, if I'm going to create a thumbnail and, as far as text and color, do I want it to look a certain way? I went in and changed on my own, did it really quickly because it was posted. And I'm like, oh crap, I don't like the thumbnail. Cause I think he just did, when you move up there, the ones that are just specifically for this last 2 weeks. So those are the ones that I'm sorry, going 6 days, 10 days. Yeah. So 11 days. So that was when we actually kind of was trying to apply some of the concept in there. I did the one Salmon Creek suburb blog in there. I just redid it a little bit. I wanted to show the whole area of Salmon Creek, not a house. So that's why I did the the highway there. But I obviously need to change it up
Well, I
a
mean,
little
here,
bit to where it's
yeah, I mean, here you can clearly read Salmon Creek, but I would say if you could find the same picture maybe in the summertime where the grass is more green. This looks a little, when you can kind of see brown grass, and then also maybe some of the trees. I can't really tell. It's still kind of small, but I would, if you saturate this a little bit more, it's going to make the skyline pop a little bit more. If there's another picture out there that, let's see.
Well, that was a drone that we took,
Okay.
but
Salmon Creek, is this
yeah,
Washington?
and that was a drone of the freeway. Yeah, that's Salmon Creek, Washington, and it's just a little suburb in there because, like I said, we're kind of small in Salmon, where we're at, and everything that I have to get myself. So that was a drone photo that my husband went and took, and I just didn't think to do saturation on the photos when using them. So that's a great point, which I'll take note of. Yeah.
I'm just trying to see. I'm trying to see which, if I can find that picture again.
What picture? The picture that's in mine?
Yeah. I'm just looking.
That's my own photo. You're not going to
gotcha.
find it in there because that's mine. I actually did a drone and took that, or my husband did, and took that photo. And
Okay.
so
well, let's just look at
in my area. Yeah.
Let's look at this one real quick. So if I take this, even if I copy image, all right? If I come over here to Canva, I mean, look how. Let me see. YouTube thumbnail. So I can easily, if I pop this in there, it's already got some good grass in there. And I would pull a different one because whenever I resize this, it already kind of blurred up a little bit. So it's not the best one. But if I just click on there and I click edit image, I can come over here to saturation and I can bring that in. You see the difference? Look at the sky.
Mm-hmm.
Compared to kind of doing that, and the grass too. See the grass, how it changes. Bring in that saturation, just gives it a little extra pop. I could even do the contrast just a little bit. And now you see that compared to if the original picture, if we just, and let's say we took this ourselves, all we got to do is bring this in just a little bit, bring that contrast, boom, and then we get that skyline to pop really easy to where now, if we want to add any type of text, even if it's white, Creek.
Do you suggest? I mean, I've seen it done where it's in box style, or I see it done like yours. I guess it just kind of depends on what your vibe is, I guess, as long as it pops. Is that kind of like the general thumb?
Yeah. I mean, you want to, I think, see if I just add a little shading behind this and then I offset, I can, let me see. I want to make sure that that's really dark. Now see how just adding a little shading back there. That's it. Positioning is good. Offset, I don't like it too offset. That just adds that little depth right there. And I can take that Salmon Creek, and I know just based off of what I know, and see, I probably wouldn't put it up there because now it's going to blend in with the sky, but it's going to pop right there, on the grass line. And then that leaves you pretty much, images. Where's my uploads? Let's see if I could put Travis in here. Nope. That one doesn't have a background removed. So.
Oh, you're not on a pro to remove the background?
I am. Yeah. Let me see. I can do edit image. I can do background remover.
And so,
So-
Krissy, you had noted before, on reading the left to the right with the text. So, like in this instance, when you're doing, obviously I see you guys on left and right as far as photos, but the text of it should still be left to right going down when you read still? Is that or unless it's like a verse?
Your most important text, if you're going to have something on the top, it's basically a Z formation is the way that we read. And so that's usually why we have top and bottom on a lot of our thumbnails. And so, but in this situation, it would be fine to have the two, because you want to have a max of 3 to 4 words on every thumbnail as well. And so if you only have 2 words, then it would be perfect to have it on the bottom, as long as obviously you're not having it covered by like the timer that you have. But yeah, we typically, as our eyes read across the screen, it's Z formation. So you definitely want your most important text, most important idea to be up on the top left-hand side, and then read accordingly, according to that Z formation.
Okay. And when
So just something even
we did
really.
Keywords.
Anyway, okay. So, and I'm going to use, and now I've got some pop on there, I know that I've got the timer over here, so that's just going to kind of cover my shirt. I can still see a house, very visual. And then I've got something catchy on here, and so that's where we say, 2 to 3 words, but also if you can make it a little catchy to make someone interested. I'm looking for Salmon Creek, but here's Salmon Creek Secrets. What's that? And makes it that simple.
So if you did that, what would you put for the description? So would that still be back to, would be, because obviously, thumbnail will get them to click. The description will get according to how they pull the words from kind of Google itself, right? So
yeah, and are you talking like the title
the
versus the description?
Yes, I'm sorry, I meant title. Thank you.
Okay, no, that's okay. Yeah. A lot of the title is going to be very SEO centered, and so now I do think that you need to kind of marry the SEO strategy with the clickbait strategy a little bit with these two, because especially as more and more people are doing this, you do need to kind of have it set apart in the title and in the thumbnail. So a really good way to kind of do that is to emphasize one of the words. That's something that we do all the time. We add 2022 to a lot of the titles, just to make it look the most current, or whatever the current year is, and we go in occasionally, we'll change things to like 2023 when, some of these things, when the year renews. Another thing is we use capital letters for, to emphasize verbs or action items in the title. So those types of things help. Another great tool that you can use is alliteration, and using, the same. So like Salmon Creek Secrets is a little bit of alliteration because you've got 2 S's in there, right? Or another one we did yesterday for a different video is luxury lead gen on our other channel. So that's a really great tool as well. That really grabs the eye on titles. So you kind of have to marry the SEO strategy with a little bit of clickbait. But yeah, that's going to be an important part of the search as well.
So then, like an example for what Levi just did, Salmon Creek Secrets. So the title would be like the top 5, neighborhood or secret neighborhoods to buy. It's not supposed to be wordy either, because the title is supposed to be like short as well, so you don't really throw in all those filler things as well. But something like that, you would take the word secret, put it in the title itself, making it relevant somewhat to what the video is.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I would too, is just a general rule of thumb, I would try to keep the location in that first part, because I think that's a mistake that a lot of people put, is they try to make it super catchy, and then they don't put the name of the location that they're doing until maybe the second section, because we use kind of the vertical lines to separate our stuff. Sometimes I'll see that they'll put something really catchy at the beginning, but it also cuts off that title on mobile, and so you want to make sure that whatever location you're highlighting is in that first section, so that that's easily accessible, especially if your thumbnail does not necessarily say the location. that's another reason why you would want to have that in that first section and towards the beginning of that section. So that keyword should be really important, and then just kind of build around that using some of that clickbaity type of SEO as well. So I know it's a delicate balance, because I feel like it's a little bit of an art, a little bit of a science mixed with a little bit of an art. And so I think what I would do is I would just study a lot of different SEO titles. And that's what Levi did at the very beginning too. You know, he went and he looked at not just real estate channels. He went and he looked at all different types of channels, you know, and he found what types of titles were really catchy, pulled some ideas from one, pulled some ideas from another. So I would just look at maybe 5 to 10 different channels that you really like their style. They have really good view counts, and kind of see what they're doing with their titles as far as like the clickbaity stuff. And then of course what we teach with the SEO, because everybody's location is a little bit different. Everybody has a different audience, but there is a little bit of an art and a little bit of a science to finding that perfect balance between SEO and clickbait.
And a little bit of luck.
And a little bit of luck mixed in there.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Lots to learn for sure. So yeah. So
and you get better with it too. Don't be discouraged. I mean, those first titles, you're going to go back and tweak them. I mean, some of the first titles that we did them completely differently than what we do now. And we go back and we update things all the time. I mean, we're going through a whole rebranding on our thumbnails on our other channel, on this channel actually. So, you know, we go back, we change titles, we add things, we revise, you know, so don't focus too much on trying to make it perfect. It's one of my favorite things that Gary Vee says, is that perfection is stupid. You know, he has stronger wording for it, but perfection is stupid, because it doesn't really help you grow, right? If you're always looking for perfection, you know, you're never going to post anything. Nobody's going to watch your stuff, because nobody likes perfectly curated anything, right? So I would just come up with something that you feel like is really good. Test it. You can always go back and test it again. If you want to do A/B testing on a headline, that's a great way to kind of ease your mind when it comes to creating something, so you're not worried about it not being perfect. We A/B test stuff all the time. If we feel like it's not going to work, we're worried about the title not being great, we're kind of struggling with the title, we'll go and we'll A/B test it, and we'll let the stats do the talking. So that's a really great way to kind of get past that roadblock too.
Yeah, and that's something as well, going back to the first question we received, I believe, today, which was, you know, figuring out the best title or something in a smaller market. Hey, just A/B test them. You know, that's the other thing, is that you can do pros and cons of Dallas, Texas, or Dallas, Texas pros and cons, and A/B test it. Even, you know, if you're getting similarities like that, that's why you got TubeBuddy. Do the A/B test, let it switch back and forth every other day, and let the viewers and the clicks decide for you. Again, you know, we talk about that all the time, is we don't guess on a lot of stuff. We let the viewers and the clicks tell us what's the best one. That's why we do a lot of different thumbnail designs and A/B test on that. And so I do believe if you're going to do A/B test, though, just choose one thing at a time. So if you're going to do a thumbnail test, do a thumbnail test. Once that sets, then you could go back and test the title, you know? And so I think thumbnails is always the best thing to test first. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And I noticed I was doing the
sorry.
I was doing the pros. And I did the pros and cons, and that's the one that's going to be launched, or, you know, issued out tonight. I did the pros and cons first, but then when I went back to do an SEO search, good and bad actually had a higher rating than pros and cons. So I changed, you know, so I'm changing, and yes, I may not to get, I'm just trying to find a rhythm, I think. And, you know, and like you said, Levi, you know, every area is different. You know, some of it may not work here that it does for your area. So, you know, and also last question, sorry, is that I'm finding, like, because I have a small area, yes, I have small suburbs, and then I have community names. And at first, you know, I thought community name, and I thought nobody's going to research community name. Suburb, yeah, but I'm thinking a lot of people might not even know my suburb. So yes, if I put in the Vancouver, Washington in there, like you suggested last time, Krissy, at least it will pull through SEO. That way, still in my description, adding Portland, Oregon in my title, adding Portland, Oregon in my description, then still pulls on the SEO. So it's just beginning to kind of overall understanding. Because even though I take your guys' course, and it's an awesome course, and you guys should sign up for it if you want to actually be successful. There's my little thing. But with that being said, I just feel like there's so much to learn, and it's like a fire hose when you take the course and you want to get up and going. And then as you're actually applying it, that's where you feel like this little back hesitation, and you're kind of questioning, and you're trying to research and learn. And especially if you're doing a lot of it on your own, it can be really overwhelming. So I find your guys' all of your resources and all of your additional training is very much appreciated. And so thank you for just what you guys provide in your course and as trainers yourself. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
It's awesome. Thanks, Justine.
Means a lot. So yeah, and it's we talked about this, I think, last week, which was, we talked about camera confidence, and which is available on our podcast right now. So if you missed that, go to our podcast and you can listen to what we talked about camera confidence. The first thing we start out with, which is, practice, repetition, consistency, and just keep in mind anything that you felt proud about accomplishing, and think back when you started that thing. You're probably the most proud of the things that were the most challenging in the beginning, and you stuck with it and you completed an accomplishment. And now those things, if you're still working on them or doing them, they're probably second nature. It's a muscle memory. It becomes a habit, all those types of things. And so this is where, again, I'm going to focus on hyper learning. Hyper learning doesn't have to be just 60 days. It can be the next 90 days and 120 days. And this is where, for those that really, really want to turn this into a success for them in their business, that extra added effort like you're doing, and that is just doing the additional research, even though we do consolidate everything in the course on there. We don't talk a lot about the other channels. Like, that's where you still go check out instead of watching Netflix at night. I don't want to take away anybody's Netflix, but this is where I found myself a lot in the beginning, watching Think Media and Daryl, all these other channels, just so I can, because I always pick up a little bit of something here and there. And so, we're really dialed in on the real estate side of it, but sometimes it's definitely good to hear the outside sources. There's a really good resource inside your channel in the studio. YouTube post videos straight from them in there as well. So sometimes catch up on some of those, but just stick with that repetition. And, during lunch, that's the thing. I think the more you focus on in the beginning, that's going to allow you the faster track to getting everything under control. But that's where, just keep mindful of that. Watch a YouTube video while you're eating lunch if you got a minute. Now, I have to check email most of the time during lunch, but that's my time. But it's just it'll all build up, and so just stick with it. And I think it's a constant improvement. It's always a constant improvement. All right.
You'll find your voice too.
Yeah.
I think as you create your titles and stuff more often, you'll find what really feels good to you. And I think once you kind of get in a flow with it, you won't worry about it as much. It kind of seems silly the way that I said that, but ultimately that's what it comes down to, is just repetition and trying to find exactly what you feel comfortable with. Because that authenticity, people really, that's such a unique thing about YouTube, is that it's where you're bearing your soul, really. You're showing everything that you've got on YouTube. You can hide behind posts on Facebook. You can hide behind, the short form stuff on Instagram, but you're really showing what you're made of on YouTube because of the long form format. And so ultimately, the more authentic you can be, even down to your copy, that's where it really makes a difference. It's just finding that authentic voice. So as you practice, as you just work more on, as you do the A/B testing and all of those things, it's going to come a lot easier to you. And you'll get to a point where you write out a title in 5 seconds. It'll take you 5 minutes to optimize your video and put it out. It's not going to take you as long as now. So just keep at it. It'll get easier.
I was just checking out one of your videos. Looks good. Are you
Your channel looks really, really good. I've looked at it before too. It looks awesome. Yeah, your videos are really well put
now,
together.
I noticed, I don't know what it is. I think one of my editors are putting in the shorts in there as pulling it up. I'm like, oh, I have some of those shorts in there. I don't know if that should be mixed in with the actual videos, but
yeah, it'll show up in your uploads depending on when they're doing it too. So if you don't have them, applied to a playlist, it'll show up in your uploads either way. So that's how it goes.
Yeah,
totally
that can be
fun.
probably confusing.
We're seeing some interesting things with shorts though. There's quite a bit of search traffic going into shorts right now. So we're starting to kind of shift and adjust our strategy on shorts as well. So it may not be such a bad thing that those are mixed in with your regular long form videos.
Yeah. I mean, that's, shorts are now searchable, which before they weren't. Now but I don't know. I'm a little torn now too, just because I like the flow of our channel, and it is a different kind of look in there, especially when you go to the videos tab. But that's the thing. I don't know how many people click on that videos tab. And that's the one thing that I feel YouTube could use an improvement on, is because, we did a separate shorts channel. It doesn't tell us, like, I wish it told us you're getting this many clicks from this channel. I mean, it tells us your audience watches these other channels, but it doesn't tell us, they're directly clicking over. It tells us videos that are recommending your videos and some of that, but I would be interested to see how many people click on the videos tab, because if it's next to nothing, then maybe I don't care what the look looks like or what it is like to have shorts on there. But then again, maybe am I missing an opportunity? But then, with shorts, if we turn this into where, we're publishing 3 times a week, and what if we publish the other 4 days with shorts? Would that be overkill? I don't know. We would definitely, they still have the shorts feed, which is going to give the shorts a virality, I think, at some points, because we're seeing this with other channels that we work on with shorts. So they're still hitting that little viral stage. But after that, can they still get found in search? Yeah. But again, I don't know. I think there's still a lot to learn from shorts. So we're still
testing.
Yep.
Always working in the background on something, right?
Yep.
So you gave 2 when you first launched your course, you had said, obviously to get the YouTube secrets and to, I started the other book. So I already listened to the revision that has you in it, Levi. So I already listened to that, and now I'm on to the first one, but, and I forgot who that was, but anyway, but what do you suggest when you said people to follow? You said that you went and followed certain people. So who would you suggest as far as going and following on YouTube to just see different flows, different ways or things that you do to get inspiration, get motivation? Who do you go to in YouTube for that?
Think Media. Yeah. Think Media, Daryl Eves, Nick Nimmin and Dee Nimmin, the Nimmin brothers, those were a couple as well. Roberto Blake, we mentioned Annie Dubay, I don't know, something. She's like I think she might be 19 now, 19, funny, but she says some good stuff on there. So those are some of the basic channels I would say that there's that really kind of dig into YouTube and things like that. So, Sean Cannell, I don't know how much did I think I bought his course. I still have not gone through it yet though. So, and we were talking about that the other day, actually. He was asking me, and I was like, I still have yet to, it's hard now, because now we're just so much in the do part of it. We're constantly doing, and we're learning from our own, learnings. Does that make sense? Learning from our own learnings. And so therefore I haven't gone into a lot of the study recently. I haven't, gone to those other channels and dug in and just it's something I want to do a lot more, because I think it's always good. But also we've been going to some conferences, and so that's been kind of like my bulk learning. I mean, when we went with Grow with Video, I wrote down so many notes from there and things to do. you have to implement ultimately. You don't want to overlearn, just continually learn. You got to take action on a lot of things too. So just look for some inspiration here and there. And I think they're just, always dig in, but ultimately the more you film, the more you A/B test with your own stuff, the more you're going to start to really get to know your own audience. So that to me is always the best way, is just focus on more of the repetition, the consistency, going through the motions on your stuff as well. Even, some people say they don't watch any of their own stuff. Yeah, I mean, I review all of our videos before they go out. I review all my videos, but I don't think I've ever said, oh, I'm going to have to go refilm that. It's like once I film it and turn it over, I just say, oh, okay, that was kind of cool. I'm going to do that in the next video. Or I say, oh, never do that again. Don't do that in the next video. And I make that adjustment. Or I just, think of different camera angles or get other ideas. So I always review my videos too, just because I want to be finalized before they get published. But I learn from, it's not a vanity thing or anything. It's just like I'm watching and I'm seeing. And also I want to see how, am I coming off on camera? It was funny. I was meeting with a good friend the other day, and he called me and to list his house. And he was like, well, I was researching Dallas real estate on YouTube. And he's like, and he didn't even know, so he didn't even know. And so he's like, you see all your videos. And one of the videos he caught, he was just like, hey man, just, he's like, I know you and I know who you are. I just felt like in this one video, you needed to smile more. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. Great, great feedback. So you also want to be mindful of those types of things. How some people talk about you have to be twice as animated. The camera may add 10 pounds, but it sucks away, 10% of, 50% of your energy. So you have to step up the energy just a little bit. I'm not saying be overly crazy and flamboyant and go all that route, but those are the types of things you have to think about and that's challenging to do because you're having a conversation with an object, that doesn't give you feedback, no facial expressions, nothing like that. And so that just comes with practice, but that helps me whenever I'm reviewing videos just to make sure that they're good to go before we publish them. That's where I notice things. Oh, okay. Don't stare directly into the sun because then you're making a video like this. Or, just, okay, smile. Don't stand this way. I mean, times during the day. If you go out at noon, first of all, if it's summer in Texas, you're going to melt to death probably. But, sunlight directly over your head, all that stuff. I mean, all that stuff matters. And so as you position yourself, work through that, you just kind of pick up a lot of this stuff as you go through it. And it's really just staying consistent. And then the thing is that, a month down the road, 2 months down the road, people are going to come in, they're probably going to find those videos first. And so you're always getting better and looking even more better to the newer audience as you come in too. So.
Perfect. Thank you. Now, if you guys, where would I go to watch, for you, because I know you probably don't put everything in here, but I was listening to your podcast. I don't know what day it was, Monday, Tuesday, don't know. I had a question there. I just didn't think it went through. But is there anywhere where you go and you actually talk about how, because I know you grew from your success, yours and Travis's success, you guys grew quite rapidly within a year. And in that course of that year, I think you brought on, 10, 13, 12 agents, right, to help leverage with the business that you guys were getting in. So have you guys thought about putting or doing a video exactly on how that looked? I mean, how that process looked? Did you start with the showing assistant? Did you then go right into a buyer's agent? What are some things that you guys set in place to make sure the expectation was there for the agent as well as what you were providing to them? I think you kind of mentioned it without mentioning it, Levi, and that you kind of wanted to be the video guy and not the traction guy. Travis was the traction guy. He wanted to do 100 a year. You were very happy with that. And so that was something you really set out and was intentional about when you first started. But, that process is so important so that if you actually have it planned out when you first start, you're going to have a higher success and a commitment because you know what your job's going to be. or what your dedication is going to be, your time's going to be put forth on. But I know that you have a lot of wisdom and everything that you guys have evolved in. Still some back end questions. I'm like, because you started out with somebody else and that somebody else isn't there. And I know that they're still around doing what you're doing. And so I know that you've learned a lot through your, growth period. And just to be able to provide certain tidbits or nuggets or things like that, I think would be really, really helpful and useful for us, because we know that if we're committed and persistent, that we're going to be just as successful as you are. And so because of that, we also want to be able to learn some of the things from those who have gone before us, which is you. So hopefully, just to put a little bug in there that you can maybe do something coming up, or maybe you already did it somewhere and I just need to know where to find it.
Yeah, well, we recorded that yesterday. Well, at least the first half of it. So that'll come out Monday on the podcast. And I love she's frozen in the you froze at the perfect time. So yeah, Monday, the episode coming out on Monday on the podcast, I talk about the partnership with Travis and myself. And I think actually Krissy reminded me to write that down for next week's podcast. I want to finish up on that on the team side. So exactly what she asked, which was how did we grow the agent count quickly to handle that. So that's the part I didn't get into the podcast, because once I started talking about Travis, I filled up the whole hour about Travis. No, about the partnership and starting out. And I did talk about that. Starting out, working. Actually, I worked with 3 different agents in the beginning before I met Travis. So 3 different agents, and I distributed leads out. And that's the thing, And so I think we went in really in depth in that, on that podcast episode. So that'll be out Monday.
Perfect.
And we'll finish up the next week with the team aspect. So that is what I want to talk about next week. But my golly, we went at 120. We're rolling here.
Yep. Lots of great questions.
Yeah. All right. Daniel says, what do we use for live stream? We use StreamYard. I'm about to rapid fire this stuff. All right. Chastine. Right? Chastine. Yes. All right.
That's right.
Okay. All right. I just always want to say the opposite of what I know it is. I don't know why. I just want to say. All right. So I hope we covered that for you today. I'm going to thank you for joining us. I'm going to rapid fire and so we can wrap this up real quick. And okay. What was that? Square one means video. I'm a broker with 37 years in my back pocket. Okay, gotcha. Cool. All right. Are the photos of homes in your thumbnails actual pics you took of the homes in the videos? Not usually. And agreed. The course and all the trainings are awesome. Thank you so much. All right, awesome. All right, well, we got through there. Man, we rock and rolled on this time. Thank you so much. And I'm going to jump. So, Krissy, thank you. And we'll see you next week.
Anyways, see you guys.
Make sure you watch our latest, what we just published, the Luxury Legion, the panel.
Oh, yep.
And I think also we're coming out with our talk with our stage talk we did with Ryan Serhant.
Yep.
He headlined. He came in after I did, but we were at
Same stage.
Same event. And we hung out in the green room and we went to dinner together. So it was a lot of fun. But we'll definitely call it the Ryan Serhant event, because it was the real estate event was called The Eyes of Real Estate through Ryan Serhant. So, and we got the opportunity to speak there, which was super cool. So I think that's coming out this week. Is it? Or
yes, Thursday.
All right. Make sure y'all check that out. Till next time. Well, I guess I can't say hope to show you around town, because that's what we say on the, yeah. Check out the next. Again, we never want to really end these things, do we? We just want to keep talking. Okay. Now we're signing off.
See ya.